What's up, y'all? We're back with yet another video, and last time I made a video, I put out a video where I dissected the cooking inside of Shokugeki no Soma, and I explained to y'all if it's like capable of happening in real life and how you would do it in real life. And so I decided to do another one of those videos, and this week I'm gonna go ahead and break down episode 2. So if you like this series that I'm doing, please like, comment, and subscribe to let me know that you like it, so that way I can keep it going. If not, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me why you don't like it, so that way I can stop it or make it better. So let's get into it with dissecting episode 2 of Shokugeki no Soma. Okay, so now going into episode 2, we see that he is at a school and he has to prepare a dish in order to get into the school, and it has to be approved by the person who's testing him. This is actually pretty common in a lot of restaurants. What they'll do in order to, instead of having an interview process where you sit down and you interview with them and they ask you questions, they'll just simply have you get up, make a dish. They'll give you 3 items, 5 items, 1 item, 1 main dish, 2 main dishes, something like that. And they'll just tell you, make me whatever, make it fancy, make it taste good, make it, you know, show me that you know what you're doing. And a lot of actual restaurants will just judge you based off of that. And they'll have you do it with like 6 to 12 other people because they don't really have time to interview one person at a time. They have to do it really quick and they have to get a bunch of people done at one time.
卵は和洋中あらゆるジャンルの基本となる食材。日々さまざまな高級卵料理を口にするエリナ様に対して一体どんな料理を。卵は溶いて使うようだけど完成形が全く見えてこないわね。
Okay, so real quick, something that I actually didn't know is in Japan they scramble their eggs. They actually do almost everything with chopsticks. They have a pair of cooking chopsticks, which is what they use to scramble things, they use to flip things, they use to do stuff like that. And so it's pretty common for them to do that, but I actually didn't know that the way that Americans scramble eggs is with a whisk. I didn't know that. So cooking chopsticks, you really like whisk it up and then it kind of like stretches it and elongates it, but a whisk fluffs it. When you use a whisk, it fluffs air inside the egg and it causes it to fluff up a little bit, whereas chopsticks just kind of break the egg up and cause it to get a little stretchy. Kind of weird because it makes it different when you actually cook the egg itself. Kind of cool. A little bit of a difference between the way that we make our eggs versus the way that they make their eggs.
的なものを相手にしている暇はないの。この私の舌に見合う料理を作るつもりがあるのかって聞いてるのよ。
いいぜ、教えてやる。俺の作る料理は食事処幸平裏メニューその8。
今度は料理を。
ふりかけご飯。
神の舌とまで呼ばれる味覚を持つ私の食卓には贅と思考を凝らした高級品だけが並ぶ。まさに美食の天上界。そこで生きてきた私にこんなものを出すなんて。
So she actually mentions her palate in this episode just as a way of saying like her palate is so exquisite that it can taste even the most basic of ingredients in anything, and that she has the god's tongue. A palate is actually a real thing in cooking. So palate means a lot of different things based on a lot of different areas that you're studying. So like if you're into art, a palette is just a set of colors or a set of mixes of colors that you have. In cooking, your palate is how you taste the food. So some people have a palate where they don't really taste salt, so they end up over salting stuff. Or they have a palate where like if you smoke, your palate changes. So cigarettes cause your palate to require more salt or demand more salt to taste it, and it's over salted for other people, or demand more pepper or something along those lines. So her palate is so sensitive that she can taste anything, apparently. And that's actually a real thing. A lot of women have a much higher taste palate than men do. So women are more sensitive to the taste that they taste in food, whereas men aren't really.
ご飯の熱で溶けて溶けると同時に卵が次々とコーティングされていく。この香りは鶏。じっくり煮込まれた鶏肉のまろやかな香りが立ち上ってくる。これが
what she's touching on is, so basically rice is another absorbent starch like the potatoes. Rice is so absorbent that if you just put anything on top of it, it just soaks up that flavor, the color, everything. What he did is he basically made like little fat cubes. And so fat cubes, when they get hot, they'll start to melt away the fat cubes, and all the flavor inside of those fat cubes will just soak into whatever you're like making. And because he has rice, the fat cubes soak into that rice, and that rice will absorb all of that flavor. So what would be a bland rice is now a super flavorful rice that is going to have all the flavor from those fat cubes.
ニコゴリね。
大正解。四角いのは手羽先のニコゴリだ。ニコゴリってのはゼラチン質の多い肉や魚の煮汁が冷えてゼリー状に凝固したものだけど、手羽先をカツオだし、酒、薄口醤油で煮込んで、その煮汁を冷やして固めて細かく切ったんだ。例えば溶け出した手羽先の煮汁が卵そぼろにプルンと絡みつく。
言うなればこのニコゴリは鶏肉の旨味が溶け込んだ濃厚なスープ。
Okay, yeah, so what he just touched on is exactly what I just said. Basically, the way he made those little cubes is like they're like a gelatin almost, and he boiled them inside of fish stock and chicken stock, and so it soaks up all the flavor from that. And then you probably toss in a little bit of sugar, maybe some sake, some soy sauce, something like that to kind of bolden up that flavor, and then when it melts, it just oozes into that rice. Also, another cool thing about rice is that the more liquid that it gets and the more that it soaks up, the stickier it gets. So what happened is if you poured this chicken and this gelatin over top of rice, when the gelatin melted, the rice would start to stick together and it would stick to the chicken. So when you scoop it or not tong it, but chopstick it, it all like meshes into one, which is pretty cool.
とろりとした煮汁のコクと塩気がふわふわの卵そぼろの優しい甘さを引き立てている。そして噛むたびにふわふわとトロトロが口の中を撫で回していく。ニコゴリが卵の美味しさを格段に跳ね上げているんだわ。これは今まで食べてきたどの料理にも似ていない私の知らなかった味の世界。
どうよどうよ。
They're talking about the flavor palette right now of the egg and the rice and the fact that the chicken broth gelatin that melted into it goes so well together. And that's one of the beauties of this show right here, is that they explain it so well that there's really not much for me to explain.
この味はまるで天使の羽で
And so once again, he makes a dish that has another woman coming out of her clothes. And if her palate is as palatable as she says it is, where she can just taste every little bit of flavor, then yes, something that tastes that good would probably be sensualizing for her, just like the other girl. And with a palate as unique as hers, I guarantee that she tastes every single flavor in that. And yeah, she probably would come right out of her clothes in real life. That's factual. That's exactly what would happen, for sure, without a doubt. Alright, y'all, that'll do it for this episode of Chef Kev Dissects. So if y'all like this series, again, please just like, comment, and subscribe. Just like show me some kind of love to let me know that you like the series and that I should keep doing it. If you think there's something I can do better with this series, let me know. This is highly experimental, so I'm kind of just testing out a bunch of different things and a bunch of different ways to do it. And I have to say that Shokugeki no Soma is one of those shows where, like, for sure, everything that happens in it is real life, like, relatable. Like, anything that happens in the show, you can happen in real life. Except for maybe women exploding out of their clothes when they taste food, or going on a spiritual journey that changes their mindset forever. I don't know if that happens in real life, but I can say for sure that a lot of stuff that happens in Shokugeki no Soma is very real to the restaurant industry and just in food in general. So go check out Shokugeki no Soma. Dope show, awesome show, love it to death. Check out more. If you guys have any anime where you've seen some cooking in it, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to dissect it and just go over it. And if it's something that I don't know, I'll for sure Google it, gain a little bit of knowledge, and come back and bring y'all the knowledge that I've gained. So drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, show me some love. Love y'all. That's it for me. I'm out. Peace.
You ain't really want me, you wanted to play me. Talking about some babies, you driving me crazy, yeah. You wanted to feel good at the time, for what? You say that you love being mine, for what? Show me off to your friends, for what, for what? Just to let me go, that hurt, it cut. Oh no, no, no. Girl, you did me like they did you. Tryna find it, it felt like you meant to. You got these feelings, who they give acting like you scared to tell me you ain't no rider. You ain't no rider. You wanted a provider, I'm tryna go higher. Stab me in my back, I'm not who you desire. You ain't no rider.